Okay, guys, welcome back. Production going a little crazy back here. Gotta love our production, guys. Give them a shout out in the chat, guys. They do a lot of good work. They make us look good sometimes. It's really, really nice of them. Okay, so into
Make us
the
look
map.
good sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
Look, without these lights, man.
Well,
Actually, with the lights, and you looking down, you look kind of like you're from the Diablo cover art.
I don't know. I have a tendency to just look down, man. I blame the monitor and the fingerprints. Those are the things that ruin my cast. Anywho, down in the bottom right corner, guys, on the map here, it's going to be Vibe. Why are you putting your hands over the hatchery? I know who this player is. And in the top left corner, it's going to be BabyKnight representing the blue Protoss here for FXO EU. BabyKnight. Axotos loves BabyKnight, man. When I was thinking of what I should say about BabyKnight, all I could think about was Axotos and how much he plugs him all day, every minute, every second, even though he's on Team Root.
It actually is really funny, the amount of like useless information about a player that you know that you really nobody's going to care to hear at all. So you're like, oh, I have so many things I could tell them about this player, but well, they're not going to want to hear it.
He likes to build probes. Occasionally falls up in his zealot pressure.
What?
Stuff like that. You got to pull out.
Is that your Axel voice?
I don't know. No. That was just a dumb voice. That was a dumb caster voice.
Oh.
That's what the dumb casters sound like.
What?
I don't know. Hatchery on the way now, guys. BabyKnight, of course, could be going for a Nexus first, and it looks like he will be doing so. Not that big of a gamble on this map. There used to be a lot of 7 pools back in the day, but a lot of players have decided, you know what? Actually, Zerg's pretty strong in late game on this map, so we're going to stick with going for that scenario.
Yep. No, it's definitely the case. Zergs have had great success on this map really since it came into existence.
Holy crud, that third.
What?
So darn
No,
quick.
man, that's a really slow third. What are you talking about? He's making a queen. He's got 7 spawning pools.
No spawning pool in a third queen. I mean, it works out. His opponent actually went for a Nexus first, so overall, there's nothing literally BabyKnight can do against us except A, finish a Forge and maybe sneak some photon cannons in. But should have that Overlord above that third, and that should deter BabyKnight for going for that route.
Yeah, but
he's still going for it.
Well, you still make the pylons anyways. But the third base on Metropolis, it's very difficult to try to get that full pylon wall. It's basically not going to happen. Hey, look, I got 2 pylons on the right. Well, okay, actually can't just make 1 pylon to block you off. So now he has to make another pylon and another pylon. And now he can't get inside, but he had to make 4 pylons to do this. And that is just slowing down BabyKnight's build. Well, actually not at all. He doesn't need a Cybercore quite yet.
He got a couple of probes to do
and
that,
he doesn't need a wall off because there's definitely no Zerglings coming. So
Gateway.
this is actually really cool out of BabyKnight that he's making this work as the drones try to go from side to side. Oh man, that's absurdly crazy what he just did.
Yeah, if you go for the greedy play, that's a fault that could happen. But BabyKnight, again, great execution. Nearly had those the minerals available to follow up with those buildings, but he just nailed it perfectly. And immediately here from Vibe's build order is completely thrown back. He does, of course, now have the double queen on the way. He went in and used the resources to do that. But look, he's even pulling 300 minerals at the moment. And it's just because everything's been thrown off for him.
Yep, double gas going down in the main base. Is that because he's supply blocked? That is entirely possible. But at this point, you would actually have canceled them. So because he's maxed. So he's going to be going for very fast tech here. We'll see if it's going to be some sort of a 2-base infestor play, which is very, very common. Could also be a 2-base muta. It's a fun little all-in that BabyKnight should actually entirely be able to hold, but hey, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if your initial plan is thrown off and you just follow up into plan B at that point, which could be very strong aggressive play, and with a 3rd and 4th gas in the way, it could potentially be very strong muta, as just mentioned by Andrew. Would like to have a couple of lings on the field, though. It needs to deny these pros from getting in the natural. Even extend that queen a little bit as it pops out to right above your creep in the top left. That way, no probes can get in whatsoever and potentially see this 3rd and 4th gas. Because if a Protoss comes in and sees 3 to 4 gases here, they're going to do a couple of things. One, they're going to throw down a few more gateways, get really heavy on the stalker count, and even potentially throw down a couple of photon cannons.
Yeah, I mean, cannons and stalkers, that's all you really need to hold this off. You would want to work your way to a quick Templar tech, but the last thing you want to do against what we're seeing right now from BabyKnight is Robo. You absolutely don't want to go for Robo. It's really not going to help you at all in dealing with Mutalisks. It's actually going to be the antithesis of what you want. And if you're dealing with Infestors, it's definitely not the worst thing. But Bird Infestors actually have to make it through your front door, so you can hold them off with cannons, and a 2-base Zerg versus a 2-base Protoss is going to favor your Protoss player in almost every situation.
Well, Evolution Chamber number 1 is on the way, followed into a macro hatch here. So +1 Carapace is a strong possibility, especially with the 4 gases. You can start to see that we do have Vibe really going up in the gas route here. He should actually stop making drones or any type of units right now so we can have 200 right when it finishes off. Is it going to go for the Spire. We'll see in seconds here
Well,
as it's dwindling down.
Yeah, he does only have the one of
Infestation.
Evo Chamber, so... oh, in fact, you are correct. He's going for the Infestation Pit.
Interesting.
And... I guess we were just...
yeah, I was really expecting Muta, but there we go, bad call.
With one Evo Chamber, here's the thing. So, with one Evo Chamber, you're going to have slightly weaker roaches, but in this situation, the patch only just happened, and of course this game was played a little bit ago, so these infested Terrans will still benefit from this missile attack upgrade. I don't expect that this is a tech path we're going to be seeing as much in the future, Robin, as infested Terrans won't be benefiting from this. It will just be the roaches, yeah. But with this not yet being the patch, this is still a completely viable and usable build. We see a lot of it in ZVP, and it definitely has the potential to work here in ZVP.
See, I just don't know, because a third's now established here for BabyKnight. Now, as long as he's careful, he has a decent amount of Zealots in the field, he should be able to hold this pretty nicely, especially if Vibe throws a little bit too many Lings at this third to try and kill it off before it gets the
They're too late is the problem.
Yeah, I don't like the build. I think Mutas are better in terms of a surprise factor than Infest or Ling. I don't know, that's just my opinion. But we're going to allow Vibe to do whatever he would like here. Photon Cannon has finished up, so it makes it way harder to actually engage in this third. This natural is walled off. BabyKnight is just defended.
Yep, he's going to start working on taking out these rocks, and that's pretty nice. These Zerglings can't be hit. 6 Zerglings will take a decade to take this down, though. Extremely long time. Meanwhile, well, that pylon was taken out. We have an observer who's going to get in here and scout this build coming out of Vibe. And if this was a Spire, folks, it would just be having been completed. 80-second build time. Yeah, it would be done for a little bit. Mutas would be being constructed right now. The observer would come in, would be seeing the Spire in a second. And BabyKnight would have a little bit of time to prepare here. But Zerglings are going to actually go for an attack here on BabyKnight. Some of them slip past the force fields, and he's lost a couple of sentries already. But in the end, he does maintain at least 3 sentries to that count.
Natural is a little bit under fire here. The sentries will be forced to go down a force field. Zealots are starting in right away. He actually doesn't kill off that sentry. I thought it was going to go down for sure. And it looks like BabyKnight is going to hold us that force field to move that sentry back. Didn't even put on move command, just FF'd. And he made it pull back. So nicely there, holding off a nice amount of Lings. And the other thing about this play here from Vibe, I want to give it a little bit of positive feedback here, is one, if there is any aggressive pushes that do come from BabyKnight, he could stop them immediately. But now he's going to go on the aggression, going to start moving straight to his opponent's third. He has a lot of infestors here, and plus that +1, as mentioned earlier by Andrew. We'll see if he can land some money fungals with some money infested Terrans and potentially maybe do some damage. There aren't that many units here, actually. Oh my gosh, he needs to spread them out.
Yeah, and this is the last attack where he does need these sentries for, but the infested Terrans trapping the units from behind. This could be a really big play for Vibe as everything there goes down. He needs to immediately, yes, move command these infested Terrans so that they can start doing damage to this Nexus. Will they do enough damage to take it out? I think they're going to. Tim, this could be a really big play for Vibe.
Oh my gosh, Kibbles, never allow me to doubt Vibe ever again in the future. Ling's now heading straight to his opponent's natural, will start poking away, and BabyKnight is in trouble. Actually, going to go straight for the Nexus here, not going to even go for the probes. And the probes do get a full surround on the Zerglings, but will it be enough?
This is actually a situation where you want to turn around and attack the probes, but he kept attacking the Nexus, so he lost all the Zerglings to probes.
Oh my gosh, so what a weird game here. A lot of Lings now coming away once again. Did the infestors actually get away for Vibe? We'll have to look in a second as this third is now in trouble once again. BabyKnight scrambling here to get an expansion up. There we go, Stalkers and Zealots, and a couple of Mortals going to finally greet up with the Lings. And it looks like BabyKnight has slowly pulled himself back here. He's okay. 103 supply to 90. A lot of investments were actually thrown that way from Vibe sides. Oh, but he lands the infested Terrans in the natural, and that Robo is in trouble.
Yeah, well, the infested Terrans are going to have to deal with the units for now. You know, they are, of course, going to kill them out very quickly, but everything goes back to those probes. Every single one of them is going to be receiving the Medal of Ire or some equivalent there, guys. Because, well, did they? See, I don't think Vibe ever turned around, really, and until that second wave of Zerglings came in, and he couldn't even attack the Nexus at that point. It looks like he tried to focus it down once again, really wants it killed, but man, and if he had turned those Zerglings around, those probes would have melted. Absolutely melted.
Okay, since we have a couple of seconds to take a breath here, let's go ahead and check the units tab out really quickly here. I want to know how much that really hurt Vibe. Okay, it didn't really do too much to BabyKnight. He lost some units, he lost a Nexus over here, but in terms of Harvesters, he's tied with the Zerg player, so that's always great. And it's just been Lings. There was no follow-up here if we want to look at the production to an upgrade. We actually went into +1/1, so Broodlords will be strong later on. But overall, now Vibe feels like he's in a situation where he can't make too big of a play because now Colossus are on the field.
Yeah, but he does have 12 Infestors, which is going to be a crazy quantity. Infested Terrans are going down, but that's going to prompt BabyKnight to move forward. Snipes one Colossus, or one Infestor, two. Third goes down. Fourth 6 Infestors dying. He's losing everything. Vibe looking like he may have battled his way back into this game, but right now is losing absolutely everything.
All Vibe had to do there was pick up a couple of Infestors, suicide them, and fungal that unit, that army structure away from actually falling in those Infestors. They actually move faster off creep as well than being burrowed. But, a lean counterattack happens and kills off the natural, and now the main's in trouble. This game is like all over the place. Now the Colossus do finally show up and will kill off those links. The third is still alive though from BabyKnight, so if he can kill this off and not lose out on this Nexus, he should be okay. Can we do the Control R real quick?
Yeah, we got to take a look at workers
25.
killed off. Were any more lost in that engagement? Not really. Still sitting at 60 probes. A lot of those were earlier when they were killed off at the third, but now Vibe is going to be going for another counterattack at the third base. There is a cannon here in a completely unattainable position. He cannot get in there with Zerglings.
But he can get to the probes, and he can start nom-nomming away. The Zealots are making their way on in, but a couple of probes are dying off. There we go. A nice mental trick there from BabyKnight to finally get those probes back to the natural alive, and he's trying to expand again, but behind all this, Vibe has expanded to a fourth base. He's moved into Greater Spire. He's done a great job of being all over the place. Unfortunately, losing those Infestors are a bit painful, and there are the Mutas. The 16-minute Muta push, that's what I was totally talking about earlier.
Oh, this is awesome out of Vibe. He's going to swing into this main base right now with these Mutas, and there is nothing at all to defend against these. There are the Stalker count. Where's it sitting? I mean, he's been up against Ling and Fester. There is a total of 9 Stalkers on the field right now. They do have Blink, so they'll be able to swing in here in a second, but now the Mutas are already taking out probes in the main base of BabyK. He's going to be sniping out quite a quantity. 2 Stalkers warping in to do what they can to defend, but Vibe doesn't care about that, and he is continuing to kill off workers. Has killed 15, counterattacking at the same time into the third base, and Vibe is dismantling FXO's BabyKnight.
The Mutas do get away, by the way, in the main. The Ling's now killing a ton in the third. Oh, he is taking a couple free pot shots, but he's killing off probes over here, so it doesn't even matter. There we go, using that multitasking seal to go ahead and grab those links and run to the natural. I feel so bad for BabyKnight right now. This is really hard to deal with.
Finally, the links look like they may be trapped. Vibe with an incredible amount of damage dealt in the last 2 minutes here to BabyKnight, who's now at 33 workers and basically has to all in. He doesn't have options from here, and the problem with that is that there are 7 Broodlords on the way right now for Vibe, and, well,
Broodlords are good.
Tim, let's look at how many Stalkers there actually are.
Go and put the units tab because we
There's
don't want to
basically a Stalker for each Broodlord.
So
11 to 7.
Oh my gosh. The good news is he does have +3 attack on the way. 1/1 is there for Vibe, but Broodlords and put out infinite units. I mean, they're called GG Lords for a reason. And if you get an advantage with Broodlords, you're going to be winning. I don't know, you're going to be in a great situation for an engagement. He's trying to create probes here. I really don't feel like he wants to move out for a while because he just doesn't have enough stuff. It's just that BabyKnight, he's just been destroyed by Vibe. That's the only way I can say it. Just his early game I felt was really good. He defended pretty well, but Vibe with falling up to that Infestor Ling push just did so much damage that was unexpected.
I'll tell you what you don't do after this match, Robin. You do not send another Protoss out to deal with a Vibe.
Yeah.
This has been an incredible performance from our Root Zerg player.
Shows why he won NA.
Yeah, really.
WCS.
And this has been a work of art.
Again. It's 2 dudes on the way, right? It's not actually done. If you want to check on those Lings really quick.
Sorry?
Give it a click on the Lings. Okay, so we're at 1-1. 2-2 actually hasn't been queued up. He's content with just being on 1-1 upgrades.
He definitely should fix that.
Yeah, he should be going up.
If there's any way that Vibe's going to lose this game, it's because BabyKnight gets too far ahead in upgrades. Right now, he's just about to finish up 3-1. So he will be 2 upgrades ahead, which is actually saying a lot. With a Mothership on the way, with +3 and +1 armor, that's going to place him substantially above Vibe in terms of army power. And both of these guys are sitting pretty equal in army supply, 83 to 92 right now.
Some Lings will get caught a little bit on the botched force field side, but once you commit to it, you have to kind of go all in to try and catch those Lings. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him there. BabyKnight will be pulling back, threatening to do some harassment here, and you can see 42 Lings were actually queued up right away there for Vibe. Very frightened there of an attack. Mutas popping straight into the main once again. With the splash damage, maybe it'll pick up a couple more probes as well, but Stalker's being warped in, and those Mutas will be killed off. Fourth is on the way here for BabyKnight. I like him trying to expand, trying to group up a unit in some way, some form, some kind of army. Getting that Mothership out as well is going to be helpful, but look at the supply actually. It's 158 to 154. BabyKnight's actually not hurting too darn bad. It's just how the engagement's going to go.
Yeah, it's not as bad of a position as it may have looked like initially, as BabyKnight was completely being dismantled. And the reality is it's upgrades. He's got very good upgrades. He's about to actually have completed shield. I really like this upgrade to go for the quick shields here. Not only is it going to help the mothership and the Archons that he's got on the field, but it's faster than going for armor, because at this point you're going to be going for armor level 2. Going for shields here will let him make a push. Now that the mothership is actually, where did it spawn? Here it is. It's going to let him make a push across the map and actually have it fairly well timed with this mothership reaching 100 energy.
Oh man, this is really tense here. Just waiting for what the opportunity is for BabyKnight to move in. Again,
Yeah.
you got to be careful still against Fungal and the Broodlords, but I'm glad the way it came back. The amount of control it takes to deal with all of those aggressive tactics that are coming your way and still move up in upgrades and not miss an upgrade is a huge deal. And it's a huge testament on how well BabyKnight's got control of this game. Even though his units weren't ever in position, really, he was still moving up in tech, which is helping him out so much here in the late game. Immortal drop on the way now. Usually what you want to do with these Immortals, because towards the late game, they kind of just fall off a little bit. Going to try inside this hatchery, and there's nothing actually around there in the middle of the map, so this hatchery should be going down.
Yeah, I want to say that if Vibe loses this game, this is the beginning of the end right now. BabyKnight's going to go for some harass. At the same time, he's going to continue running ahead in upgrades, as he's now working on +2 shields. Now, Vibe is getting a chance to catch up here. He's got Adrenal Glands. His +1 air just finished, as that War Prism will be taken out, but the hatchery's falling at the same time. Broodlord's going to kill some Immortals, but those are completely useless units at this point.
Forces the lanes to pull out. BabyKnight, now moving up its supply once again, is currently at 154. Starting to warp in some Zealots. He has got charge lots out. It's going to help out a lot in terms of just making those Zealots actually spread out a little bit when they do get into an engagement. A little bit hard to land Fungals on charged Zealots, because again, they spread out a little bit easier than, of course, group Zealots with no charge. Broodlords, though, it's a really big number here for Vibe. He's really been keeping up with that Broodlord tech. It's even got 8 more on the way. 8 more Broodlords.
Oh my God.
There is one thing that might hurt him here.
That's too many Broodlords, man.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Corruptors here.
That's 20 Broodlords to 16 Stalkers.
And
that is actually what we're looking at. I mean, as long as he doesn't get caught in a Vortex, he should not be able to lose this engagement.
Well, there is a possibility of the Mothership A landing a Vortex, but 2 as well. If the Corruptors are killed off, and he's actually kills off the Overseers as well, he could deal with the Broodlords pretty quickly, but that's kind of a long shot. There's a decent amount of Overseers in this army.
And Infestors, which can fungal growth. They also have Neural Parasite, and he has Burrow, so what would be really cute is some sort of a maneuver that will go for tagging that Mothership, but there is an Observer with this army flying over the heads of the Colossi right now.
Well, the engagement is pending. We do have Vibe moving out across the middle of the map. Another drop, it looks like in the top left 4th corner, is going to be happening very soon. Zealots being dropped right away. Spine Crawlers there, though, and even on creep, but the Zealots with these upgrades are still telling these Spine Crawlers really quickly here.
I feel like every time a Spine Crawler pokes something when it's off creep, it should take damage. It should harm the Spine Crawler.
You should be a game designer. We need to make that happen.
Yeah, it's not really a balance issue. It's just because that's how it should work.
Yeah, it's cool. It'd be awesome. Nice Network now on the way for Vibe. He's going to be able to have a tech available to go ahead and do some maneuvers around the side if he wants to. And Vortex has landed there just
Oh, he neural it and gets the Vortex in the front, actually.
This makes it really hard to actually engage these Broodlords. The Stalkers have to blink underneath there and potentially die to supporting units or move into the actual Vortex itself. Another Vortex does land, though, and catches a good hefty amount of Broodlords on the left side. And the Stalkers are actually blinking forward right again. The Infested Terrans have been thrown
blocking
down.
It. Oh, he's blocking the Archons from getting into the Vortex with the Infested Terrans, but they get through. And that's huge for a BabyKnight. These Broodlords are going to not die. They're actually alive. And this is just too much for BabyKnight. Vibe looking like he's finally going to run over the FXO Protoss that has cleaned up 2 of his teammates.
So many Broodlords, and for a second there, BabyKnight looked like he had a good defense there, but now the Nexus is suddenly in trouble. The Pro's being picked apart. Another Warpin has come in, and you know there's not really that many huge supporting units underneath there. The Stalkers do blink in right again and go ahead and land a couple of nice shots on these Broodlords. They are getting picked apart, but the damage is just too much. Looking at these Stalkers, they are pretty low. Blinking once again. Gonna go ahead and micro to the best visibility here, getting one more Broodlord, a second one in trouble as well. The Stalker count getting so darn low, though. He gets away. Only 2 Broodlords are left.
BabyKnight doing everything he can at this point, but Vibe is reinforcing with droves of units. And as these come in, I think it might begin to spell the end for BabyKnight. These Stalkers, you know, they only have so many places they can blink to.
The Archon is warping in at the moment, and it's going to do its best. There is a huge choke here for the Lings, and it looks like there is just too much. And it looks like the Lings are going to be poking off the probes as well. BabyKnight is forced to GG, but after that mid-game aggression, it looks like BabyKnight just might be out, but he did such a good job of keeping up with his upgrades, building up another army, making sure his third was established again, rebuilding his Nexus really quickly. He did a good job of damage control afterwards. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough.
I know, it was an incredibly played game out of BabyKnight in the beginning and towards the end doing what he could with those units. But Vibe tearing him apart with that harass was just one of the more impressive things I've managed to see in the IPTL so far this season. So I hope you guys enjoyed that game as I know much we did.
Well, I hope you're ready for another play, because we have the play of the day actually coming up right after before we go into the commercial. So let's go ahead and hop into that. It's actually going to be commentated by our very own Kibbles.
It's a pretty good match. Here we go.
Here's your IPL